All this story would begin 50 years after the end of the Tournament of Power, in which all the warriors had become extremely powerful beings. However, both Zeno-samas were completely bored, so in that instant they decided to make a second Tournament of Power, informing Daishinken.
Daishinken, please inform all the universes that they have 1 week to present themselves again with 10 warriors. We'll make a new power tournament.
As you command, my lord. I'll inform every god of destruction right now.
No, you better summon a meeting between all the universes.
Gods of all universes, the great Zeno-sama has organized an emergency meeting. You must be at the Palace of Zeno-sama in 1 hour.
All the gods, upon receiving the information, will come quickly. Upon arrival, Daishinken will step in front of all the other gods.
I know that all you must be intrigued, since we have not seen each other for about 50 years, but we will hold a second Tournament of Power.
All the gods were surprised to learn that a new Tournament of Power would once again put each other of their existences at risk.
But Daishinken-sama, what's the reason for all this? The deadly level of our universes is even above average.
This has been the idea of the King of Everything, so it'll be done in about 1 week. You may retire.
Each god would return to his universe, but would be a bit surprised realizing that they needed the help again of the mortals. Beerus and Whis would quickly go to planet Earth, being a little surprised to perceive the power of all the Z warriors.
I was a little scared, but we were the winners of the last tournament and we can't lose this time. We have the power to defeat them.
It is correct that the power of all the warriors has increased, but the power of all the other warriors must also have risen in a big way. At that moment, Beerus and Whis observed how Goku and Vegeta were fighting in the sea. That's right, both Saiyans wanted to continue surpassing their limits, so they didn't stay behind.
Why don't you use the Ultra Ego, Vegeta? Maybe you can't still muster it in its entirety.
Shut the fuck up, you insect. The Ultra Ego is not like your Ultra Instinct, which has the imperfect and perfect variant. The Ultra Ego, I can use it 100%, not 50%.
I didn't understand anything of what you said, but with that power you won't be able to defeat my defensive Ultra Instinct.
At that moment, Beerus and Whis appeared in the middle of both Saiyans.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Beerus and Mr. Whis, I haven't seen them for so long. Why are they on planet Earth?
Beerus at the moment was very surprised when he stared at Goku.
Goku? Are you using Ultra Instinct?
Oh, this? That's right, Mr. Beerus. I'm using the Ultra Defensive Instinct, but I'm already able to master it 100% at will. But Vegeta doesn't force me to use all my power.
Damn insect. I didn't use the Ultra Ego because even the Earth suffers because of all my power. With that power, I'd be able to finish you with a single blow.
I can see that all of you have become great warriors, but I have something very important to tell you. Goku would return to his base state and would get a little serious when he noticed that Whis' look would change drastically.
What's happened? Has a new enemy approached that even you're not able to facing?
No, nothing like that, Mr. Goku. The great Zeno-sama has announced a new Tournament of Power. Goku and Vegeta were very surprised.
Why the hell did the King of Everything decide that? From what I understand, since all the universes came back to life, the power of the mortals has grown. That's right, but those are the orders of the great Zeno-sama. We can't refuse.
Jiren's power must have risen in an incredible way. I must not stay with my arms crossed. I'll go to train in the Room of Time to be able to break my limits.
Goku would think about this. At the moment, the deities of all the Universe 7 would inform everything to the other warriors who were surprised in the same way. Meanwhile, Goku would arrive with Dende, asking him as a favor to allow him to use the Time Room. Explaining that the great Zeno-sama had organized a new Tournament of Power, Dende would accept without any problem. At the moment of entering, Goku would begin to train very arduously to be able to break all his limits.
I'm sure that the Ultra Instinct must have a further state, or even variables such as a Super Saiyan, and I have planned to unlock each of these new transformations.
So the week that the King of Everything had granted had passed quickly. For all the gods to summon the warriors that would save the universe on this occasion, with only a few hours left, Beerus together with Whis would arrive to planet Earth, realizing that Goku was missing. Meanwhile, with Goku, he had already been able to access the Ultra Instinct Phase 2, but he had not mastered it completely.
It won't be long before it's completely mastered.
Goku would continue with his great training, however, at the moment of mastering the Ultra Instinct Level 2 completely, he would decide to combine it with the Kaioken increased 500 times. But the power would be so much that even an energy Rafa released from his aura would destroy the Time Room completely, leaving Goku very surprised and scared.
Damn it! I'm an idiot. How now will I be able to get out of this place?
Goku was very worried since he had understood that he had improved with the time room the help of Whis, since Gotenks was able to get out with his power.
I have to be able to surpass my limits. I'll try to get out of this place.
Goku would access Ultra Instinct Phase 2, with which he would activate the Kaioken increase to 500 times, which was the power that his body could withstand, being impossible since no space-time rift was formed.
Damn it! It won't be long before that damn tournament starts.
Meanwhile, with Beerus, he was furious that Goku was nowhere to be seen.
Vegeta, don't you know where the hell that damn worm is? Mr. Beerus, I assure you that I have no idea where Kakarot's insect is.
Maybe he chickened out and decided not to participate. Or he went to train and forgot that the day of the tournament was today.
Damn Goku, I swear I'll kill you. Whis, look for him immediately.
Whis with his staff would begin to search for Goku throughout the Universe 7, being a little shocked to realize that the presence of Goku wasn't anywhere in Universe 7.
Mr. Beerus, this may be surprising, but Mr. Goku's presence had disappeared from all 12 universes.
Damn it.
Quickly, they would choose Yamcha to form the team of 10 members. At the moment of arriving to the realm of nothingness, an overwhelming power would be felt. That's right, it was the power of Jiren. Instantly, Daishinka would give the beginning of the new Tournament of Power, in which, this time, Universe 11 had no rival. Universe 11, even though the power of Vegeta and Frieza had shot up, they were able to defeat Topo and all the other participants of the Pride troops. However, their power was not enough to face Jiren, who on this occasion was able to kill every member of the Pride troops. Jiren, on this occasion, would ask the Super Dragon Balls for the return of his entire family. Daishinka would return to stare at him, as it was a selfish wish, but Zeno-sama would nod in affirmation. That's right, this time Jiren had not erased by Zeno-sama. The former Android 17 would ask that all the universes return to normal. Meanwhile, in the time room, Goku had felt a sting in his heart, and an anguish would invade him.
Damn dwarves, this anguish I feel. You wretches destroyed my universe even though I couldn't be there to defend it.
Goku would begin again with his great training, because despite having spent 10,000 inside the room time, he was not able to open the portal, and this meant that he had not yet overcome the power of an angel. So it is, as Goku every day, every year, every century struggled much more, to the point of even losing most of his memories and becoming much colder. That's right, he had regained the cold personality of a Saiyan. After about 1,000,000 years, Goku had incredible power, but despite having the power to even face Daishinkan-sama, he had not been able to get out of that place.
Damn it! I've forgotten almost all my friends. I only know that I have to finish with those damn dwarves, and I'll not give up.
Goku on this occasion would release an overwhelming power, with which he was able to access his most powerful transformation. But the condensed power was incredible. So much was his power that even the silhouette of a large Ozaru would form all over the place. But every attempt had been in vain. Goku would begin to scream out in frustration. His screams would spread throughout the room of time.
I'm tired of being in this damn place. I haven't been able to create a small dimensional rift, but I can't die.
Flashback. Dende noticed that Goku had not left the time room, and it was time for the power tournament. However, when he investigated, he was surprised to see how the door of the time room had been destroyed.
I can't let Mr. Goku die in this place.
This is how Dende, with the help of Shenron, would ask him to make Goku immortal so that he would not die in that place. At the moment that even both Zeno-sama was eliminated in Universe 7, the time room was not affected, being in another dimension very different from Universe 7. And flashback. Goku would give loud cries of despair. However, he knew he wasn't able to do anything.
If a divine being, and even above all that is known, helps me to get out of this miserable place, I promise to do what he asked me to do.
Meanwhile, in a faraway place, a powerful archangel named Neen would listen to the words of that Saiyan.
Well, well, how interesting. I'm not a goddess who surpasses the power of Zeno-sama, but I do have the necessary power to travel between dimensions and get him out of that place.
At that moment, Neen would begin to travel between dimensions. At the moment of arriving, a great light would be formed, and from a great portal, Neen would appear in front of Goku, who would be very surprised since it had been millions of years since he had dealt with a person.
Who the hell are you? Have you been able to enter this dimension? Am I hallucinating? Ha 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 ha! Wow, how long have you been locked up in this place? So long that you even lose your perception of reality? So, if you're real, help me get out of this damn place. I swear I'll be your servant. I want to get out. I don't know how anything about this room anymore. Are you sure you will be one of my servants? I assure you.
Nin at that moment would form a blood pact that united them, which didn't matter at the level of Goku. If he broke the pact, he would die instantly. Nin, with the great dimensional power, was able to get Goku out of the dimension, but at the time of leaving, they appeared in the universe that was empty. That's right, both appeared where both belong to Universe 7. Goku at that moment would increase his power a little, being enough to wreak havoc all over this place.
I swear I'll kill you damn dwarves! Calm down, Goku. Even though you and I have great power, we must not attract the attention of the king at all. I want to finish him off. I swear I won't let him take my family away from me. How do you know you had a family, if even from reality itself you are lost? The second tournament of power. Zeno-sama eliminated everything I loved. I don't remember them clearly, but the only thing I know is that I'll avenge them. But if that tournament was more than 10,000 years ago, and even in this room, time passes much faster. Seriously, I don't know how he's still alive. It's understandable that he has lost his reasoning. Nin-sama, I know that I'll be your servant, but please, allow me to finish with the kings completely. It's the only thing that I implore you. Of course I'll allow you, but we must do it with caution. I will also wish to take revenge on the whole divine world, so little by little we will have our revenge. Understood, Nin-sama. As you command. What are we supposed to do now? The first thing will be to head towards Universe 11, to finish with the only god of destruction, and the most powerful mortal of all the universes. Goku at that moment would take Nin, with his great speed began to move through all the universes, and even caused havoc in reality itself due to its great power. Goku, together with the Archangel Nin, were traveling at an incredible speed, so much that all the space where they passed was cracked. After a few minutes, both arrive at Universe 11. Their powerful was so much, after a few minutes, that the deity, along with the most powerful mortals, felt an incredible pressure throughout their universe. What's this pressure? I'm not able to move freely. Apparently the pressure is the power of a Saiyan, but this should not be possible, since that race was extinct millions of years ago with Universe 6 and 7. Meanwhile, Jiren, who was meditating, felt such overwhelming power, so he quickly went in front of the being that emanated that gigantic power. When he arrived, he was equally surprised to realize that the being in front of him was not part of his universe. How is it possible that a subject from another universe is alive? At that moment, Toppo would arrive with all the others, being surprised when realizing that it was Son Goku, but since both had fought previously. But if it's Son Goku from Universe 7, how's that possible? Your whole universe was destroyed. You must have died too. That's of no importance. But you, Jiren, you had the Super Dragon Balls in your power. I don't know what you wished for, but you were selfish with all the other universes. Saiyan, I don't care how you survived. Now I'll end your pathetic life. I could ask for whatever I wanted. I won the Tournament of Power for a reason. Goku was in perfect Ultra Instinct, was watching him with a very serious look. Jiren, without enduring all the provocations of Goku, he launched himself against Goku, who was surprised to realize how Goku had dodged his blow, making it look easy. How do you have those reflexes? My power even surpasses the power of the gods of destruction. This shouldn't be happening. Goku, without saying a single word, had connected a light blow, which Jiren was not able to observe. But for Jiren, it had been an extremely powerful blow, since even when it hit it, the planet had completely destroyed it, leaving no trace. Son Goku, how do you have all that boring power? That doesn't interest you. You who call yourselves the Warriors of Justice and make wishes for your benefit, you are good-for-nothing vigilantes. Toppo, angry, would change to his form of God of Destruction since he felt the incredible presence that was coming from the whole body of Goku. At the moment, Toppo would throw a great destructive energy, but at the moment of making contact with the aura of Goku, the energy would vanish completely. That's right, the simple aura of Goku was so powerful as to disintegrate even the power of a God of Destruction. Jiren at that moment would recover from the blow, throwing himself towards Goku. However, it was not completed but for Goku to dodge and block each attack of Jiren. Toppo would also support Jiren, but even between the two, Goku was far superior to the Warriors of Justice. Goku would release some of his incredible pressure, with which he had made Jiren and Toppo fall to their knees, not allowing them to move. Wow, guys, I thought you could withstand the pressure of 3% of all my power, but you've been defeated by my simple pressure. I really thought the most powerful mortal of the 12 universes and who won the Tournament of Power was more a powerful being.
Dang it. I can't move. What the hell is this guy?
Son Goku's always had great power, but he wasn't this amazing. What happened to him?
At the moment, Goku would charge a great sphere of energy. At the moment of Vermouth arriving to the place, he was able to observe a gigantic explosion in all his universe, observing how his two more powerful warriors had been defeated without difficulty by the being that he had in front of him.
What happened? How are you able to eliminate the two most powerful warriors of Universe 11?
However, at that moment, Vermouth would be surprised to notice that the Saiyan of Universe 7, remembering that he was the best warrior of Beerus, even being on par with the God of Destruction.
But you're Goku from Universe 7. This can't be possible since your universe was destroyed thousands of years ago.
Dang you, you dare to say that my universe was destroyed. I will forgive you for that.
Goku at an incredible speed was able to connect a great blow to Vermouth, which made him fall to the planet, crashing heavily.
I, a Saiyan who always looked for the welfare of others, I was not able to protect my universe. Now I'll finish with every divine being in revenge for my universe. But that won't be possible because the power of the father Daishoken-sama is far beyond his imagination, not to mention the power of the great Zeno-sama. You haven't seen my true power, but just to give you a little idea, this is only 3% of my power.
Margarita would be very surprised by Son Goku's words. However, instantly Vermouth would raise all his power, causing some calamities through the universe.
I swear that I'll finish you, Saiyan. I have trained for all these thousands of years not to stay behind the power of Jiren, but now I use this power to finish you.
Vermouth had launched himself against Goku, beginning to exchange hundreds of blows at high speeds. But Goku was only playing with the god, who was able to use every last drop of his energy. Meanwhile, with Margarita, in that instant, he was able to observe Nin being very surprised and terrified.
But you're our elder sister, Nin-sama, daughter of the great priest, a super goddess of destruction. So you are called the Supreme Archangel. So you know who I really am. Then you must know the reason why I've returned after millions of years. Do you want to try to bring down the entire divine realm like 1,500 million years ago? That's funny, but with the Saiyan of great power, I know I'll have the necessary power since he has much more power than all of you.
Margarita at that moment threw herself against Nin, who with a simple look would expand a great pressure in all the corners of Universe 11. Even in all the other empty universes, the great pressure was not able to allow the Daisel Angie to move freely.
Now stop moving, you idiot. Don't you see that I'm going to kill you?
Nin instantly threw a sphere of energy towards Daisy, which was able to reduce her to simple atoms. Meanwhile, Goku has taken full advantage of Vermouth.
Goku, quickly, finish with that pathetic god since you know that our main goal is to finish with the most powerful divine beings.
Vermouth was instantly shocked to realize that Margarita had turned into the mere ashes of the universe.
Dang it, this can't be forgiven by anyone. Even if I die, I'll take out one of you with me.
Vermouth had a great speed rush against Goku, but this much more serious with a much more greater speed than Vermouth was able to dismember every part of his body, and a great explosion would make him disappear into nothingness.
It's ready, Nin-sama.
Goku, I have a question for you. Is that all your power, or do you have any power beyond that?
Of course I do. I have much more power and even a power beyond that of an Archmage. I want to witness all your power, so please, increase it to the maximum. And don't worry, nothing and no one will be able to sense your power. I will seal this whole universe.
Nin at that moment with her great power would cover the whole Universe 11 of a great dark energy, which didn't allow anyone to feel outside of that barrier. Goku at that moment would begin to increase his power in an incredible way. At that moment, the face of an incredible Ozaru would appear throughout the universe, so Goku was accessing the Divine Super Saiyan 4, but it would not end there, as Goku would continue releasing much more power, which would begin to leave Nin surprised.
How do you have so much power? Really, this Saiyan has been training for all these millions of years that he remained locked up.
Goku from a big explosion seemed to have returned to his Ultra Instinct, but something to differentiate was the color of his eyes, which this time were the red color combined with purple.
This is all the power that I'm able to master 100%. Because of my 100% destruction form, I'm still not able to master it. But with that power, it's incredible. You would be able to even give a great battle to my father Daishinken, although for sure I don't know who would win because his power is also immense. Goku would return to Ultra Instinct, which he had chosen as his base state. So now what are we gonna do, Nin-sama? The first thing we'll do is train somewhere so that you'll be able to control all your power. We could go to a room. Goku, remembering all the time that he had in the Room of Time, he would flatly refuse. However, at that moment, two great powers would be able to destroy all the barrier that Nin had placed. That's right, they were both guardians of Zeno-sama. Flashback.
Something bad's happening in Universe 11. Jiren's presence has disappeared. His power was so great as to even end the life of a super god of destruction.
Dai, why did you send for us? Is there something you want us to do?
That's right. Go into Universe 11 and verify that everything is in the perfect condition.
Okay, we'll be back in a moment. End flashback. The dark energy barrier that Nin had created was destroyed by both guardians who were surprised to see Nin.
But if you're Nin, the daughter of the High Priest, I didn't think that after millions of years you would come back. Do you want to be humiliated again?
Nin would not say a single word, knowing that the power of both guardians exceeded his and had no chance if both fought together. However, Goku, realizing that they all disrespected the goddess who saved him, furious, he launched himself against a guardian at a great speed and was able to connect a blow, making him fall to a planet. At the time of the other guardian to react, it was too late, since at that moment he had received a powerful slingshot of air in the stomach, which would make him vomit large amounts of blood.
Good for nothing, guardians. If you insult or disrespect Nin-sama again, I'll kill each one of you myself.
Both furious guardians threw themselves against Goku. Nin quickly got in front of Goku, however, the fist that was about to hit his face, Goku, with a simple movement, had made 1,000 pieces of the arm of that guardian.
Nin, don't worry, I've taught you my power, but you're not able to assimilate the experience that I have in combat. These guys are simple insects to me.
The guard would quickly regenerate his arm with the help of the celestial energy that they possessed, and they quickly launched themselves against Goku, but something strange was happening. Despite beings that surpassed the power of the gods of destruction by millions of times, Goku made them look like simple children. Goku, by increasing his power to 35% of all his power, he was able to even the pressure would not allow them to move. However, both guardians used their last technique, which was a combined technique that required every drop of their power. Throwing it to Goku, a great explosion would be created.
Nin, we don't know how you were able to get such a powerful guy to be your ally, but we're done with him. You're now.
Goku's dead. What a technique was a galactic level.
But at that moment, a lightning would move through the place, being able to end the life of both guardians. Meanwhile, in the realm of everything, Daishinken was not able to observe anything because the incredible pressure of Goku was even able to form a dome of energy, but he was still able to feel how that vital energy of both guardians had disappeared completely.
What's going on? I also have to have myself verify that everything's in order, but I will raise my power a little so as not to be caught off guard.
The great priest Daishinken would expel a great part of his power, making everything around him tremble. Daishinken would quickly go to the place of the battle, being surprised to only witness the bones of both guardians, and in front of them two subjects, which he would quickly recognize.
This is impossible. If you're the fallen Archangel Nin, and the most powerful Saiyan of the Universe 7, son Goku.
So, you remember me, Father. I never thought I would be present in a dimension like that, much less coming from my father. But now I have returned to bring down the entire divine realm.
Millions of years ago, you had enough power to bring down the entire divine realm. But now, I don't think you have enough power to defeat us.
I know that all of you have raised your power in a great way, but this Saiyan is a very powerful being, and as I can see, he has the same goal as me, to destroy the entire divine realm.
Is that true, Mr. Goku? We never knew the reason why he didn't participate in the second tournament of power, but he doesn't have the necessary power to finish off the entire divine realm.
Of course I plan to wipe out the entire divine realm, and that's what I have left over, Daishinken. Now I'm sure I can even wipe out the lives of the useless kings altogether.
Goku at the moment would raise his power a little, causing great destruction through the Universe 11. That's right, the power of Goku was so great that even the same realities were altered, since all that place did not have enough power to contain so much power. Daishenkin would be a little surprised to witness all the bestial power that came out of the body of Son Goku, but without staying behind, in the same way the great priest Daishenkin would begin to release all his incredible power. Not to stay behind Goku, but something incredible would happen. Instantly, a strong gust of wind would make him fall on a planet, and felt as Goku's own gravity crushed him. Instantly, Goku would seriously be watching him in front of his Ultra Instinct Phase 3, with which he was able to freeze any warrior with a simple look. I have lost all my emotions and feelings, but I'm sure that I want to finish with all the Divine Kingdom. Because of a stupid game of that dwarf who calls himself King of Everything, my universe was destroyed. I'll finish with each one of you wretches. Goku, with an incredible speed, had launched himself against Daishenkin, who was not able to dodge a strong blow, which sent him flying to a planet of the Universe 11. Daishenkin would recover from the blow, leaving a little wounded, but at the moment, Goku, without stopping, would continue with his furious attack, with which he would not even let Daishenkin breathe. The power of this Saiyan's incredible. I'm not even able to defend myself, and he's been able to increase his power to incredible levels. I'm not able to do anything against him. All this thought Daishenkin while he was massacred by that Saiyan who was thirsty for revenge. Goku with one blow would send him to crash onto a planet. For one of the most powerful warriors of all the universes, you have pretty low power. Goku, do you want to fight an extremely powerful being? Yes, I'd like to, since this simple worm's not even capable of making me use 50% of my power. Let him go. According to the story millions of years ago, there was an extremely powerful being who had never known defeat, and he decided to be sealed in the Kingdom of Everything, until a being worthy of all his powers appears, and something in me says that his being exists. So if you let him go, I'm sure that they will go to this guy. Are you talking about Kimura? So it's all true. There's a being who's never known defeat. You're in luck, priest. That's the only reason I let you live, so you'll be able to make me fight with that powerful guy. Never even though you have all that power, you won't be able to touch the mighty Kimura. His power knows no limits. It's impossible for a Saiyan like you. It was said that it's impossible for a simple Saiyan to rise to the top of all 12 universes. And look, I was even able to sweep the floor with you. You good-for-nothing priest. Goku at that moment would grant him a powerful enough blow that would send him to fly through hundreds of dimensions, which would connect with the Kingdom of Everything. At the moment of arriving, he would crash into the palace. Being out of combat, the great Zeno-sama, upon realizing how his castle had been shaken so abruptly, would decide to go out to observe what had happened. Zeno-sama would raise one of his hands, with which an incredible power would begin to run through the whole body of Daishenkin. That's right, Zeno-sama was transmitting a great power, with which he was able to return the vital energy to the priest. A moment Daishenkin regaining consciousness, he would be very surprised to realize that he was in front of his lord. My lord, I thank you for your help. I didn't think that I would be defeated by that simple mortal. His power is incredible. I apologize. I don't understand anything of what you're telling me. You arrived here with a powerful blow, and it was so powerful that you even shook my castle. So explain to me what happened. Daishenkin instantly began to explain everything that happened with the Saiyan son Goku and the Archangel Nin, which made Zeno-sama look very serious, since he knew that none of this was good, knowing that even Goku, who was once his best friend, had a power comparable to that of ending the lives of both his guardians. My lord, Son Goku once chose to awaken Kimura. Zeno-sama, much more serious, would stand next to Daishenkin. That won't happen in any possible way. The power of that Kimura possesses, I'm sure he would be able to pulverize Son Goku with a single blow. Meanwhile, returning with both beings, Goku had returned to the Ultra Instinct, finding himself a little discouraged, which Nin would notice. What's wrong, Goku? Even though I took you out of that place, you could tell me anything. I'm a friend to you. It's been millions of years since I had a fight, but they haven't been able to make me feel what I felt in the battles. Adrenaline, intensity, terror. I haven't felt anything at all. That's because your power has reached a level that hardly a warrior is able to reach. What, do you think that we face the renegade gods? Renegade gods? Who are they? The renegade gods are the gods who possess the necessary power to end the life of a king completely. What if we invade their dimension? What did you say, that they have the power to end the life of a king? I'm interested in that.
Of course we should do it. I want to feel the adrenaline of a real battle. What we must do is increase a power that even breaks the barrier of time and space. With it, we will form a portal which will take us to the world of the renegade gods. Goku at that moment would expel a little of his power, with which the disaster was evident, but it was not enough to break the barrier of space-time. Goku, much more serious, would tighten his fists, with which he would be able to activate the Kaioken increased to 1,000 times, with which he was able to break the barrier of space-time. However, with all that bestial power, had been perceived by the beings of the Kingdom of Everything, which were very surprised to realize all this incredible power. This is bad. I'll have to merge with my part of the future. At that moment, the other Zeno-sama would appear in front of them. What's going on? What was all that trembling that was felt? Daishinka would explain everything that had happened to the King of the Future, to which he agreed. At the moment, both Kings of the Future began to merge, with which an incredible power would be felt all over the place. However, at that precise moment, the power of Goku and Neon would be felt. The power of Goku and Nin would disappear as they arrived in the dimension of the renegade gods. After a few minutes, Goku and Nin would arrive to an infinite space in the same way. But something to differentiate was the incredible power that could be perceived in this place. The power that's felt in this place is amazing. It has no comparison with the gods that used to live in our universes. So this is the place of the renegade gods. At that same instant, a being at lightning speed would grant a great blow to Goku, which would make him fall to a planet, destroying it by force of impact. When Goku stood up, a large mouthful of blood would come out of his mouth, but instead of being enraged, he would smile. This pain was the only one I felt for millions of years. A real battle. Who are you? I can see that you belong in the 12 universes of the useless Zeno-sama. How were beings from those universes able to reach our world? Isn't it obvious? We're beings that surpass the power of the king at all. So I wish that a being could make me get excited again in battle. What an idiot subject. This place will be your grave, since no one's capable of facing us. There's only been one being who made us flee. His name is Kimura. Again, that name. As far as I can tell, the power of this Kimura must be so beastly that even beings from these worlds are afraid of him. Yura, which was the name of the guy, at a great speed would begin to give a beating to Goku, who instantly was not able to do anything at all. However, as the battle went on, he was matching the speed of his opponent. At the time, Yura would receive a big blow which made him spit blood, falling to his knees badly wounded. This is impossible. The simple being of the external universes shouldn't possess this power. Who are you? You're not an ordinary being. I'm a Saiyan, who was betrayed by the King of Everything, who I considered my best friend. But that dwarf decided to turn his back on me. I was locked up for millions of years. Thanks to that, I have this great power. Maria, a little surprised, would throw himself against Goku, which on this occasion the battle of both was very even. So much that even planets around them were disintegrating by the great power that both subjects were expelling. Maria, in that instant, would triple its speed, being able to cut all the limbs of Goku, and even, not having guard, would put his hand on his chest, destroying his heart. Nin would be very surprised to witness as Goku had been defeated. This was all my fault. I shouldn't have brought him to this place. The power of these guys is way above Goku's power. Now he's dead. I won't be able to do anything about it. You were a powerful being, but by destroying the vital organ of your body, you'll die irreparably, since no one can live without a heart. However, at that moment, Goku's whole body began to regenerate at a great speed. That's right, his body was regenerating completely, and even his heart had reappeared. Maria was not able to dodge a powerful blow, which on this occasion had made him bleed too much, and he had even felt how that blow took his life. Instantly, an aura of lightning would rise all over the place. That would have worked if you were facing an immortal being, but I possess immortality, so no matter if you tear my body to pieces, I'll continue fighting again. So, for that reason, you're able to regenerate. But I'll give you a lesson that you're an immortal, but that doesn't make you invincible. Only have to use destructive energy to end your pathetic life, and you won't be part of nothingness.
Noriya instantly would raise a great part of his power, with which he would even transform, appearing a halo on his back, giving to understand the divinity similar to the energy of an angel. However, hundreds of rays would begin to travel throughout the body of Nori, which was being filled with an incredible power. A great explosion would be created all over the place, and when all the smoke dissipated, Nori would be observed, which had accessed his combat form. I'm surprised that a simple Saiyan had the necessary power to make me use a great part of my power. May I know your name? My name's Goku, but I'm also known as Kakarot, the most powerful Saiyan of all. Instantly, Goku would raise his power in the same way, accessing the Ultra Instinct Phase 3, with which he caused destruction all over the place, which was said to have an incredible resistance. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Zeno-sama together with Daishinkan were very pensive. We're no longer able to perceive Son Goku's power, but even if I merge, I don't feel I have the power to defeat him. We must do it. No, my lord. To wake up Kimura, it's real madness. He can finish with the life of Son Goku and Nin, but after them, the next ones to die will be us. At that moment, an incredible power would be felt throughout the multiverse of Zeno-sama, a power that even made both deities tremble. An incredible power was being released throughout the Kingdom of Everything. So much was his power that, with the simple pressure, he even made the two most powerful beings of the multiverse fall to their knees. That's right, the incredible Kimura had awakened from his great dream of millions of years. A great chaos would be caused by all the universes, because the power of this warrior was from another dimension. Could this Kimura be awakened? But what happened? Why did he wake up so suddenly?
I don't know, Daishinkan, but even if we who are fused, we're not able to move freely.
At that moment, a guy with a normal appearance would stand in front of them, but his whole body released an incredible dark aura. So much was his power that he stood in front of both deities. He didn't allow them to breathe. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought they had increased their power after these millions of years, but you're still the same trash I remember. Kimura-sama, what can I do for you? That does not interest you, but I'll tell you this. I have felt a strong power, and I want to face that great power. Do you know who it is? Daishinkan would be very surprised to know that Goku's power was so much that even Kimura was able to perceive it. Meanwhile, with the battle of Goku and Nora, the battle of both warriors would become very even. But Nora's power was, with each passing minute, beginning to diminish greatly. At one point in the battle, Goku was able to hit Nora's stomach with a big punch, which would send him to a planet to crash. When he stood up, he would vomit large amounts of blood and his eyes were totally blurred.
I can't believe it! Goku's power is so great that he can even make a rebel god kiss the floor.
This can't be happening. The power of this Saiyan must be nothing compared to my power. I can't assimilate it. The damage he caused me is unbelievable. Goku at that moment would appear in front of him. Goku, without any expression, would pierce his hand, tearing out his heart, taking Nora's life completely. Instantly, he would throw a large sphere of energy which would begin to reduce him to simple atoms.
That god resolved to be much more powerful than Daishinkan's garbage, but he wasn't powerful enough to make me use 100% of all my power.
Do you still have much more power, Goku?
That's right, Nin. But there hasn't been a being that can make me use 100% of all my power. But I have a great intrigue with the guy named Kimura.
Goku would return to Ultra Instinct, beginning to explore all the universes of the rebel gods. But at that moment, a great catastrophe would be felt even in that place. That's right, the power of Kimura was so much that it would even make Goku put a serious look. A god in the form of fire, which was approaching, would fall to the ground of a planet by the impression, and by the incredible pressure, Goku had not noticed its presence because its incredible power completely overshadowed it. Kimura! How the hell have you really so much power? Your power, instead of decreasing after millions of years, has increased. This is incredible power belonging to Kimura. I have nothing to do when facing these simple gods because even though they are very powerful, they're not able to make me use all my power. I'll be a waste of time. Goku would hold Nin again, and with his dimensional change, would begin to go to where that being was releasing his incredible power. But when he arrived, he would be surprised to realize that Kimura was not releasing his power, giving to understand that bestial power was his base state. Kimura was not releasing his power. Kimura would release that two beings had arrived. At that moment, Nin would fall to the ground without being able to breathe. Goku would quickly throw a large sphere of energy so that Nin would be able to move. While Goku walked towards Kimura, he would return to observe Zeno-sama.
When I fight with this guy and release all my power, I'll finish you cursed. You dared to kill my whole family. I'll never forgive you for that.
At that moment, Goku was face to face with Kimura, who was in awe because his pressure was not able to bring him to his knees.
As far as I can tell, you must be the guy who was able to make me wake up after millions of years.
So you've been able to sense my power. That's interesting, since I always keep my power at a state of rest.
You can't hide all your power, much less from me. I'm much more powerful, and I'm able to sense all your sea of energy.
You're more powerful than me. Don't make me laugh. I've been training for millions of years because I got trapped in a damn room.
Kimura, without saying a word, would give Goku thousands of blows in the matter of 2 seconds, which Goku was not able to see absolutely anything, falling to the ground with very serious injuries and vomiting too much blood. Even his sea of energy would begin to spin in a very irregular way, because the blows of that warrior had had the necessary power to even end the life of a king at all.
That hurt me too much. You almost knocked me out. But let me see what you think of that.
Goku would instantly switch to Ultra Instinct Phase 3, which would not impress Kimura at the least. Goku would be a little upset after millions of years, and so Goku lashed out at Kimura, who, to his surprise, was able to neutralize all of Goku's hits. With extreme ease, Knees, who was able to observe everything, was not able to assimilate, who had the advantage because their seeds were incredible, but she was surprised when she realized how Goku would be knocked down for a second time. This time, the whole planet with which he collided would explode, leaving nothing in its path.
I hope that it's not all your power, because you'd let me down if in an incredible way.
Goku would get up and begin to raise his power to the maximum. An incredible beast could be seen throughout the universe, while Goku was accessing the heavenly Super Saiyan. At the moment, all fur of all his body would become invisible, and Goku, without saying a single word, launched himself against Kimura. To everyone's surprise, Kimura was able to stop Goku's punch with one of his hands, and without making a great effort, he would deliver a blow to Goku. But this time, Goku was able to dodge it, which would draw Kimura's attention, and at that moment, both would take distance.
You're a very interesting guy, but if that's all your power, you've let me down, since this is only 19% of all my power.
Goku, with a very serious look, would realize that he could not do anything against that warrior. Meanwhile, several rebel gods would head towards the multiverse of Zeno-sama, with the exception of one, which was the Saiyan god Yamoshi.
Finally, after millions of years, a king-level Saiyan like me's been born again. You'll be the perfect candidate to rule the territory of the rebel gods.
Returning to the battlefield, 4 incredible masses of power began to collide. And while this was happening, all that incredible power began to enter Kimuru's body. That's right, Kimura had increased his power to 42%, with which his power had grown in an incredible way. Kimura, at lightning speed, was able to deliver a single blow to Goku, but the power of that blow had been so great that it would even leave Goku in a terrible condition.
I can't believe it. Son Goku was able to kill both Zeno-sama's guardians and humiliate me as well. But Kimura, against him, he looks like a simple child.
Damn it, I have no choice. Even if I don't master it, I'll use it.
Goku would return to his base state, but his power would begin to increase in a bestial way, going through each one of his transformations.
Goku's gonna use his true power. I can't believe it.
Goku would continue to expel his power in incredible ways. At the moment, a great explosion would be created by all that once was the multiverse of Zeno-sama. At the same time of dissipating, the smoke could be observed to Goku, which seemed to be in the Ultra Instinct. But the color of his hair and his eyes was of an intimidating purple color.
I've never used this power before, but you're the first one to make me use my maximum power.
So that's Son Goku's true power. Can't believe it. We're never opponents to him.
No matter what we do, in case Goku wins the battle, he'll finish me. But I prefer to be Kimuru's slave. I don't want to die. At that moment, both warriors threw themselves against each other, but this time Kimura flew away with hundreds of wounds all over his body, and at the moment of falling to a star, a great explosion was created all over the place, leaving everyone present astonished, because it was the first time they saw how Kimura was sent to fly with such brutality and full of wounds.
I can't believe this is happening. Son Goku's power was able to surpass Kimuru's power, which was said to that his power knew no limit.
Now funny, this is the second time that being is able to hurt me. I can't believe it was with a being of the same race. It looks like you're enjoying it as much as I am, but I hope the battle can continue for much longer. Ha! Of course it'll continue for a long time. That's why even the rebel gods were afraid of my power.
Kimura at the moment would begin to expel large amounts of power. That's right, Kimura's power was rising to an impressive scale. At the moment, lightning bolts were shooting all over the place, which everyone would dodge with great difficulty.
I'm ready, Saiyan. Come and show me what you're capable of.
Both subjects at that moment began to give each other excellent blows. That's right, both had left aside the defense. They only hit each other with the maximum of their power. At that moment, both warriors hit with each other with a big blow. Goku was sent to fly to a sea of lava, which had been formed by the explosion of the planets, while Kimura had been sent to fly to a nearby star, destroying it completely. At the moment, both would vomit large amounts of blood.
What the hell is happening? Why does my body hurt so much? I feel like I can't stand upright.
At that precise moment, Kimura would fall out of combat. Goku was not in the best condition. Since the battle against that guy had left his power on the ground, Zeno-sama and Daishinkan, including all the rebel gods, were launched against Goku and Kimura. Goku would throw a great barrier on Kimura, which was able to withstand several impacts, while Goku began to exchange blows with the gods, but he was not able to do anything to them, because he did not have even 10% of all his power. Nin at that moment would throw a large sphere of energy, which Daishinkan would vanish it completely.
This is a perfect opportunity to fish with that damn Saiyan, and we won't waste it.
All the gods were able to destroy the barrier that Goku had placed over Kimura, and at that moment, they would throw an incredible power. However, a much more overwhelming power would be felt through that place, disintegrating all the power of the gods, and even standing in front of Daishinkan and Zeno-sama, who would recognize it immediately.
But you're the mighty god Yamoshi.
The rebel gods, without caring much about Yamoshi as the most powerful god, threw themselves towards him. But at the moment, Yamoshi would increase his power in a bestial way. He looked like a beast since his power seemed to have no limit. The whole place would be destroyed than it already was. At the moment, from a great explosion, Yamoshi could be observed, which was in its legendary state.
It doesn't matter if you all want to face me. Do it anyway. You won't stand a chance against me.
All the warriors didn't care and threw themselves against Yamoshi, who was able to knock them out without any difficulty.
You're still mere children compared to my true power.
Yamoshi immediately took Goku and Nin, Kimura, and leaving him to his planet, which was in a place far away from the universe of the rebel gods. Yamoshi had headed towards his planet. While all this was happening, Daishinkan, who had not received great damage, was able to help recover all the beings, including the rebel gods, who would decide to make an alliance, to be able to do something against the trio of warriors, especially with Son Goku, who had given off an unreal power.
After millions of years, the rebel gods returned to collaborate with us, the divine beings of the multiverse's Zeno-sama.
This is not a battle that only belongs to me, because if it were only mine, none of you would be worried. It would be better to mobilize as fast as possible so that you do not recover completely.
I agree with Zeno-sama, but in spite of that, Yamoshi's power is incredible. I don't think we'll be able to do anything against his infinite power.
After millions of years, it seems that you have to emerge again to bring back Archon, the only being that was able to fight him besides Yamoshi.
If we have to do it, we'll do it. We're not going to stay with our arms crossed. The power of those warriors must not exist.
A great pentagram would be formed all over the place. The power of that fusion would be felt even to the place where Yamoshi was, who would change his expression to a very serious one, just like Nin, who was not out of combat.
Whose power is that? The power it gives off seems to be from another dimension. I'm not able to assimilate it.
Those bastards, after being under my command for millions of years, have decided to form Archon, but they still won't have the necessary power.
We have to buy time, while Kimura and Goku recover so that they can help us in this great battle that is approaching.
Meanwhile, in the multiverse of Zeno-sama, everything was shaking. Subject even dimensional holes. At the moment of the complete fusion, a powerful subject could be observed.
The power that I possess this time is incredible. So all the rebel gods have increased their power in an incredible way. How interesting.
Archon would observe both deities, throwing a great sphere of golden energy at them, which covered their bodies and gave them incredible power.
That power is easy to master for you who possess the divine key. So, this very moment, we'll finish with those scum and we'll be the rulers of the whole. The power I possess is incredible. I'll return the humiliation to the cursed Nin. I'll not leave any being alive.
I'm sorry, my friend Goku, but after millions of years, your heart only possesses evil. For that reason, it'll be better to finish you off.
At that moment, the trio of warriors were heading with great speed towards Yamoshi's territory, which was far away from everything. But after a few minutes and they were able to arrive, they were not able to enter because a powerful barrier didn't allow them to pass through.
Ha ha ha! A simple barrier will not be able to contain us. Receive this!
Archon, with a small power-up of his power, would throw a tiny attack, but the condensed power was incredible. The attack would be powerful enough to destroy the barrier completely, which would leave Yamoshi very surprised.
Damn it! The power of that fusion's risen in an incredible way. Goddess, will you be able to face the king and his guardian at the time?
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't have the power to face my father, let alone the king at all.
This is bad. We need one of us to wake up, because if we don't, we'll die in this very place.
At that moment, large amounts of negative energy would begin to cover the whole body of Kimura, who had been able to wake up, being very confused because he didn't know where he was.
Seems I've lost for the first time. But what the hell's going on? I feel three big powers heading towards this place.
At that moment, Kimura would be even more surprised when he saw Yamoshi.
But Yamoshi, I thought you were dead. You're the first one to make me use all my power. But tell me, what's going on? This is not the time for explanations, but the gods and kings of everything, when they realized that you and Son Goku are on the verge of death, they tried to finish you off. Those damned ones. Whose three powers are they? They're the beings of the kingdom of everything, and the fusion of all the rebel gods. So count on your help since the power of the three of them has shot up in an incredible way.
Instantly, the trio of warriors would arrive for Yamoshi.
Yamoshi. You being the most powerful of us, you prefer to turn your back on us. This will not be forgiven. We'll finish you off in this very place. Damn, Nin. You made that pathetic Saiyan be able to crush me. I don't care that you're my daughter. I swear I'll make you suffer in the worst way possible.
Yamoshi immediately began to access his legendary state, which was able to withstand much of the energy charge. But unlike the previous time, this time the power that Yamoshi was accumulating was a barbarity, being so much that it would even create several destructions by the universes of the rebel gods, which were said to be indestructible.
You, Kimura, you'll face me. You'll no longer be sealed, and you'll only sleep for millions of years. At this moment, I, Zeno-sama, will finish you once and for all.
Archon would rush against Yamoshi. Both began to collide their fists at high speeds. At that moment, Zeno-sama and Daishinkan were launched against Kimura, since between the two of them would be able to have much more advantage. At that time, would quickly go to Goku, trying to wake him up, but it was impossible. Meanwhile, with the battle of Archon and Yamoshi, the fight seemed to be very evenly matched, but I was not able to see a clear winner, because both were connecting blows of incredible power. On the contrary, since Daishinkan and Zeno-sama at every moment of the battle were putting Kimura in great trouble, at the time of a big blow they would send him to fly back to a planet.
Damn it. If I had all my power, I'd been able to finish with these bastards. My body hurts too much since the battle I had with that Saiyan.
Kimura, without giving importance to this pain, would begin to exchange blows with both warriors, but his power was decaying in incredible levels. So much that even Daishinkan alone was able to give him a beating. At that moment, he would throw a great blow and a powerful attack, which would create an incredible devastation all over the place. Kimura had been completely defeated.
Damn, I don't have the power to face them, but he was able to defeat them. Demonic healing activation.
Kimura, before being out of combat, was able to receive a demonic technique, which would make the whole body of Goku begin to restore quickly. At that moment, the three warriors were launched quickly against Yamoshi, which was not able to do anything. Instantly, would create an explosion with his own body, but Archon would use a large barrier to protect from the explosion. Yamoshi would fall to the ground on the verge of death.
Nin, run away! The power of these guys is incredible. Son Goku has not been able to wake up.
Archon would stare at everyone approaching Nin.
It's a pity that such a beautiful goddess like you dies, but you chose the wrong side. Die!
No, Archon-sama, please don't kill her. I want to be the one to kill that damn traitor. I'll humiliate her in the worst way possible.
Nin, before she could say anything or even defend herself, she would be massacred by a rain of blows, which she was not able to see. Daishinkan, after humiliating her for about 10 minutes, would make her fall to the ground, being dragged by several mountains.
You're nothing without that Saiyan. Now that he's not there to protect you, you're not able to give me a single scratch. You're a disappointment to everyone. Now die!
Daishinkan to be a few centimeters away from connecting his final blow, a powerful blow that would send thousands of kilometers flying. So much had been the power of that blow that when Daishinkan hit a planet, it would destroy it completely. At the moment of an incredible pressure would be felt all over the place. That's right, Goku had been able to wake up in front of everyone.
Thank you for giving me the time to recover. Now you can leave everything in my hands. I'll take care of finishing with these cursed subjects, especially with the beings of the kingdom of everything.
Zeno-sama, when observing Goku directly, he would feel a shiver run through his whole interior, because the pressure that Goku was releasing was on the level never seen before. At that moment, Daishinkan would recover from that furtive blow, but he would come out with a few wounds.
Well, your power is incredibly high compared to the last time, because with that blow I would have ended your life.
Daishinkan would say to himself,
The blow that damn Saiyan gave me was unreal power. I felt like my life was being taken away. I shouldn't trust myself since he's capable of ending my life.
At that moment, a red pressure would be neutralizing Goku's pressure a little bit, and in the same way, Archon would stand in front of Goku.
So you're that Saiyan that Zeno-sama and Daishinkan feared. Let me tell you that I'm not the same as the rebel gods. Because now all their powers formed a single being. I don't care if you formed a single being or not. You three will die by my hands today, and you'll not be able to do anything.
Goku! Don't trust the power of those guys. It's incredible. I don't think that their fusion will be so powerful.
I don't know who you are, but I thank you, and of course I won't trust you.
Archon was about to hit Goku and send him flying by the expulsion of Goku's power, who was releasing his power to the maximum. Ascending his forbidden power, instantly all the universes of the gods seemed to be destroyed due to all that bestial power. From a great explosion, we could see Goku, whose hair was purple as well as his eyes, and the pressure that he was releasing was even able to decrease the speed of Daishinkan. Zeno-sama, because they were not as powerful as Archon.
Now I'm ready. I hope you are too, but to die? Because I finish you damn insects.
Goku, as if he were an animal, as if it were lightning, had been able to end the lives of Daishinkan and Zeno-sama, only being able to observe how blood fell all over the battlefield.
It's enough for me that they die. I don't have to humiliate them. They will never come back to life because my energy is even more powerful than the god of the Super Dragon Balls.
Archon, a little nervous and scared, would throw himself against Goku. Both of them, when colliding their fists, caused great destruction throughout the universes. But unlike the fight against Yamoshi, Archon's body, every time he collided against Goku's body, large amounts of dark energy entered his body, which made him much slower, and even his entire internal system began to be affected.
Damn, what's wrong with me? I can't breathe.
It's too late for you. You weren't able to realize it in time, so we'd better end your pathetic life now.
Goku at the moment would form a great dark dragon, which at the moment of colliding with Archon would release a rain of rays, which would leave absolutely no ashes of Archon. Goku would quickly go to Nin, and Goku would flow a great part of his energy so that Nin would recover. When several hours passed, all the warriors would recover completely.
At last I can be calm. I'm done with those damn dwarves that destroyed my planet without completion. I don't know what to do. I never had a good life.
In that case, all you could stay on my planet, and we go to other multiverses to meet new warriors.
That seems very dangerous to me. Don't worry, Nin. I'll always protect you, and we are Saiyans. Our fighting instinct always takes us over.
That's how Goku and the others made a great team and even went into universes they had never visited before. The confrontation between Whis and Ryuk intensified as space became the stage for their fierce cosmic battle. The clash of divine and dark energies echoed in the void of the universe, creating ripples that stretched to the far reaches of space.
You think you can stop me, Whis?
The master of divine martial arts, Whis, maintained his serene composure as he resisted the onslaught of the Devourer of Worlds disciple. His divine aura glowed brightly, fighting against the darkness that threatened to envelop him. Whis, with a wave of his hand, unleashed a blast of divine energy that forced Ryuk back momentarily. However, the smile on the dark being's face revealed that he was far from giving up.
Ryuk, your quest for power will only lead to destruction.
Ryuk, releasing a sinister laugh, launched himself at Whis with renowned furiosity. Each exchange of blows was like a clash of titans, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Beerus was recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ryuk, watching the battle with critical eyes. The darkness that had pierced his abdomen was beginning to dissipate thanks to divine regeneration, but the experience had left an indelible mark.
This creature's more formidable than I imagined.
And determined not to be a mere spectator, Beerus joined the battle with renowned determination. His figure flashed with divine energy that rivaled Whis', creating a spectacle of light and shadow in space. The three powerful beings engaged in a cosmic dance, with flashes of divine and dark energy illuminating the vastness of the universe. Ryuk, without losing his smirk, took advantage of his transformation to increase his speed and strength, challenging the gods with every move. The combat reached new levels of complexity when Whis, in a flash of cunning, unleashed a divine teleportation technique. He moved at the speed of thought, appearing and disappearing at different points in space, keeping Ryuk on the defensive.
Ugh, you can't dodge me forever, Whis.
As Whis and Ryuk clashed in space, Beerus focused on channeling his divine energy. The Destroyer God sank into a meditative state, concentrating on unleashing his true power. Beerus' transformation was gradual but impactful. His figure was enveloped in a golden aura, and his eyes shone with the intensity of a star. Divine power flowed through him, manifesting in a form that only the mightiest gods could attain, allowing the grievous wound left by Ryuk to be healed.
It's time to put an end to this.
The reborn Beerus lunged towards Ryuk with unparalleled speed. Each blow he delivered was imbued with overwhelming divine energy. Ryuk, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the onslaught of the Destroyer God. Meanwhile, Whis continued his cosmic ballet, defying the laws of space and time with his speed and agility. Every move was calculated, every blow strategically executed. The battle reached its climax as Beerus and Whis coordinated, combining their attacks to create a symphony of divine energy that enveloped Ryuk. The pressure in the air became almost tangible, and the cosmos itself seemed to rumble with the intensity of the conflict.
Do you have anything to say, Ryuk?
Ryuk, gravely wounded but still defiant, let out a shrill laugh. His figure writhed as the dark energy tried to resist the overwhelming pressure of the gods.
This is not the end, gods. My master will be released, and his darkness will devour all.
Beerus, showing no mercy, unleashed a sphere of concentrated divine energy and hurled it directly at Ryuk. The resulting explosion illuminated the space, dispelling the darkness that had lingered. Silence fell over the space as the gods watched the wreckage of the battle. Ryuk lay motionless, defeated, but not destroyed. His threat had been contained, at least for now.
This is not over. We need to find out more about his master and any threat that may arise.
Whis nodded, sharing the same determination. The reality of the danger that stalked the universe became more apparent, and the gods knew they had to prepare to face even greater challenges. The cosmic explosion that marked the end of the fierce battle dissipated into the vast space, leaving Whis and Beerus floating in momentary tranquility. As they regained their composure, a flash of gold announced the arrival of Daishenkin, the high priest, who appeared before them with a serene but worried expression.
I see you've dealt with the threat, dear Whis and Beerus.
Yes, Father. Ryuk has been contained, at least for now.
But this isn't the end, is it?
Daishinkan smiled wisely as he held in his hands a strange artifact, a glowing sphere that emanated an energy like the one they felt during the battle.
This is what I wanted to show you. It's known as the Sphere of Divine Containment, an ancient artifact capable of sealing beings of great power and darkness.
Beerus and Whis watched intently as Daishinkan explained the function of the sphere and how it was used to keep the most dangerous entities in the universe at bay.
This artifact has been kept in safekeeping for eons. It's only brought to light in extreme situations. The dark energy they felt came from one of these sealed entities, released by Ryuk's recklessness.
Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances as they assimilated the information.
Who are these sealed entities? They are beings from the distant past, fallen gods and creatures whose thirst for power make them uncontrollable. The Sphere of Divine Containment is our safeguard against their resurgence.
So, Ryuk was one of them, and his master?
His master is the Devourer of Worlds, an even more ancient and dangerous being. His release could jeopardize existence itself.
The gravity of the situation hung heavy in the air as Daishinkan continued to explain the importance of keeping the Sphere of Divine Containment safe and sealing Ryuk again.
Now that Ryuk has been contained, it's crucial that he returns to his place of safekeeping. But we also need to get information from him. We need to know more about the Devourer of Worlds' plans and any threats that may arise.
Beerus, Whis, and Daishinkan shared a determined look. The task was not complete. There was still work to be done. If interrogating Ryuk could give us answers, we'll do so, but we must proceed with caution.
The information we gathered will be essential to prepare for future threats. Also, we need to reinforce the security of the Sphere of Divine Containment.
Daishinkan, with a nod of his head, showed his approval of the god's decision.
Very well. Let us return to the realm of all and set preparations in motion. The safety of the universe depends on us.
The three gods, with the glowing sphere in hand, teleported to the realm of all, ready to confront the shadows of the past and ensure the stability of the universe. The spheres of divine containment, now more than ever, became the beacon of hope amidst the darkness that threatened to emerge. Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors, divided into groups, scattered into the sky in the direction of the unknown presences they had sensed on the planet of the northern Zeno-sama. In the air, they moved at impressive speeds, ready to face any threat that crossed their path. On Zeno-sama's planet, Goku and Vegeta appeared thanks to teleportation, scarring Zeno-sama with serious and determined expressions. Zeno-sama, who was waiting for them, welcomed them with nervous gestures.
Goku, Vegeta, I'm glad you came so quickly. The information I have is crucial. We need to know what this artifact is and what threat it poses.
We don't have time to waste. What do you know?
Zeno-sama nodded and led the Saiyans to his small home on the planet. Once inside, they unfolded an ancient scroll that revealed information about a mystical artifact known as the Cosmic Core of Containment. He explained that this artifact was used by the ancient gods to seal entities of great evil and power, preventing them from wreaking havoc in the universe.
This artifact is so ancient that there are hardly any records of its creation. It was thought to be lost, but apparently all this time it was hidden on planet Earth. And how is it supposed to be sealed?
Tell us at once.
Zeno-sama explained that the Cosmic Core of Containment could be opened by a being of great power, but in doing so, the seal would be transferred to the first being it encountered. If the seal was not broken immediately, it would merge with that being, granting it power, but also binding it to the duty of keeping the evil sealed.
And how the heck did it end up in Goku's chest?
That's the puzzling thing. It seems that this artifact shows Goku as its carrier.
Goku, with an expression of astonishment, began to grasp the magnitude of the situation. He was now the bearer of an artifact containing an entity of indescribable evil.
So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
What an honor, Kakarot! It seems you've become the guardian of evil.
But there is something else. The being sealed inside the urn is incredibly powerful. He is known as Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. It is an ancient entity that has consumed entire worlds.
The gravity of the situation was reflected on the faces of Goku and Vegeta. Not only did they have to face the mysterious artifact in Goku's chest, but also the dark entity sealed within.
Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time, figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
Yes, make no mistake, Kakarot. If this threatens Earth, I'll not hesitate to stop you.
Meanwhile on Earth, the Z Warriors faced unusual pressure as they prepared for combat. Each group was ready to deal with the entities they had sensed at Bulma's house, which were minions of Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. The dark energy surrounding these minions was intense, and the very air seemed to vibrate with their malevolent presence. The group of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Android 18 encountered one of Bahamut's 4 minions standing on the ground, humanoids with a black, malevolent aura. The Z Warriors prepared for the confrontation with Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, adopting combat stances. In a chaotic dance of dark energy and flickering explosions, the confrontation between the Z Warriors and Bahamut's henchmen unfolded on the cosmic stage of Earth's defense. Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, 3 warriors of varying experience and skills, faced a dark menace that threatened to plunge the planet into an abyss of destruction. The stage was permeated with a tense atmosphere as the 3 warriors assumed combat stances, ready to defend the Earth against Bahamut's henchmen, a being whose malevolent aura eclipsed even the intensity of the sun.
I don't know who you are, but we'll not allow you to harm our planet!
Krillin's words echoed in the air, charged with determination. Bahamut's henchman, a humanoid with a black, malevolent aura, advanced with ferocity, launching a dark attack. Krillin, in a display of amazing agility, dodged the attacks, moving like a gust of wind across the battlefield.
Kaizen!
In the blink of an eye, Krillin created his signature energy disc and launched it towards the henchman. Kaizen spun furiously, cutting through the air as it headed towards its target. However, the henchman displayed unmatched skill as he dodged the spinning attack, moving with an agility that defied comprehension. The henchman counterattacked with a series of dark, swift strikes, but Krillin was unwilling to give up. With precise and quick movements, he blocked most of the attacks, responding with quick and precise counterattacks. The combat dance between Krillin and the henchman painted a picture of speed and skill, where each movement could change the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Master Roshi, the aged warrior with vast experience in martial arts, watched the confrontation with a knowing smile. He adopted a firm posture, waiting for his moment to intervene.
You've chosen the wrong man to fight. I've seen more battles than you can imagine.
As Bahamut's henchman lunged towards him, Master Roshi moved with unique grace, dodging the attacks with precise movements and counterattacking with a series of energy blasts. The old man's experience and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge for the henchman, who was forced to deploy all his skills to confront the master. On the other hand, Android 18, the android warrior with formidable strength, advanced towards the henchman with determination. Her eyes glowed with an intense blue light as she unleashed her powerful android energy.
Do not underestimate the strength of androids.
With a quick wave of his hands, Android 18 launched a wave of energy towards the henchman. The latter, though impressed by the ferocity of the android warrior, showed no signs of recoiling. Instead, it lunged toward her with surprising speed, throwing dark blows that Android 18 dodged with cybernetic agility. The battle between Android 18 and the minion was a display of strength and speed, the bursts of energy lighting up the sky. Both fought with an intensity that could shake the foundations of the universe. Meanwhile, Android 18, a formidable warrior created by Dr. Gero, was ready to demonstrate her immense power. She charged her energy, her body radiating a red glow, and lunged towards the henchman with determination.
Don't underestimate me. I'm stronger than you think.
The henchman responded with a sudden surge of his dark aura, unleashing a surge of energy that pushed Android 18 back. The force of the impact created a shockwave, kicking up dust and debris in its wake. The battle was intense. Every move had a purpose and every attack resonated with the Z Warriors' determination to protect their home. Explosions of energy followed one after another, lighting up the battlefield like fireworks in the dark night of space. However, the true magnitude of the threat was yet to be fully revealed. This henchman was only one of 4 sent by Bahamut, and the fate of Earth depended on the ability of the Z Warriors to pass this first test. On the horizon, the other three minions awaited their turn, ready to plunge into the fray and test their bravery and skills of Earth's defenders. The intensity of the battle increased with each moment, and while Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi fought against the henchmen, other groups of Z warriors faced similar challenges in different locations around the planet. The fate of the Earth hung in the delicate balance of the unfolding cosmic battle, and each warrior was determined to give everything for the survival of his home. While the first group of warriors were defending Earth on Kaio-sama's planet in the small house, it was permeated with a tense atmosphere and solemnity as Goku, Vegeta, and Kaio-sama were immersed in the gravity of the situation. The ancient scroll spread out on the table revealed the secrets of an ancient artifact, and the weight now rested on Goku's shoulders. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control? The responsibility rested on Goku like a heavy mantle. The cosmic core of containment, that ancestral artifact, had chosen Goku as its carrier, and within it was Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The gravity of the situation was reflected in the eyes of the Saiyan, who was already mentally preparing himself for a colossal task ahead.
What an honor, Kakarot. Seems you've become the guardian of evil.
The irony of Vegeta's voice did not go unnoticed. While his words might have been sarcastic, the determination in his eyes indicated that, despite any jokes, they were in this together.
But there's something else. The being inside the artifact is incredibly powerful.
The information left Goku and Vegeta silent. Bahamut, the name echoed in their minds like the distant echo of a coming storm. Consuming entire worlds was a threat they could not underestimate. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and at the same time figure out how to free ourselves from this burden. The pact was sealed. Together, Goku and Vegeta would take on the challenge of containing Bahamut and discovering a way to free themselves from the burden they now carried. The remaining question was how they would confront the dark entity that lay in Goku's chest. But before they could formulate a plan, a vibration in the air alerted them to the arrival of others.
It seems your friends are in trouble. Go help them.
Goku and Vegeta nodded in a gesture and understanding and, with serious expressions, headed for the door. With a mighty leap, they launched themselves into the sky, ready to join the battle raging on planet Earth. At the moment that Kaio-sama gave the information to Goku and Vegeta, on Earth appeared another henchman of Bahamut who met with the duo of Tenshinhan. This henchman of Bahamut seemed to be an expert in dark martial arts. He moved with supernatural agility, challenging the Z warriors with swift and lethal movements.
Do not underestimate the strength of humans. Kikoho!
Tenshinhan launched his powerful Kikoho attack, creating an explosion of energy that enveloped Bahamut's henchmen.
This is no ordinary enemy. I must use my powers wisely.
Chaos unleashing his magic, creating illusions and distractions to confuse Bahamut's henchmen. The battle was unfolding on multiple levels, with the Z warriors fighting against this enemy who seemed to understand the combat arts in unexpected ways. At that moment, realizing that the power with which they were facing Bahamut's henchmen was not enough to stop him, thanks to Chaos's distraction, they took the opportunity to try to escape. But they did not count on the great speed of their rival who, realizing that they wanted to escape, caught up with them, disappearing from the place where he was and appearing in front of them. At the precise moment in which he was about to eliminate Chaos and Tenshinhan, two people appeared between them and their rival Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, with their gazes fixed on Bahamut's henchmen, shared a silent understanding. The gravity of the situation was clear on their faces, but there was no room for doubt.
Tenshinhan! Chaos! Go and warn the others about this threat. We need time to deal with this.
We don't want them to get hurt because of us. Go! We'll take care of this.
Tenshinhan and Chaos nodded, recognizing the determination in the Saiyans' voices. Wasting no time, they sped away, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing their formidable opponent. Bahamut's henchmen, emanating overwhelming darkness, showed no signs of backing down. His eyes glowed with malice, aware of the battle ahead. The Z warriors were prepared to face any threat, and this would be no exception.
It's clear that this won't be easy.
That's what makes it exciting. Let's do it, Kakarot.
Goku and Vegeta charged at Bahamut's henchmen with impressive speed. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, this being who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takagami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought, "I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them." Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said, "I've been surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takagami, sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut." Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said, "More gods? This sounds very dangerous and it's exciting."
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk, and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takagami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takagami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans.
Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?
Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takagami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takagami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans. "Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!"
Come on, God of Darkness. Show us what you can do.
Takagami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury. His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness.
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takagami. However, as the battle progressed, Takagami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added, "Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting." Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takagami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary.
This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances. "Vegeta, it's time to go further!"
Huh, of course, Kakarot.
As Chaos and Ten Shin Han rushed to warn the other Z warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takagami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. A cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takagami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takagami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan.
Vegeta, this guy's strong, but that only means that this fight will be even better. Huh, of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takagami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takagami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takagami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takagami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning. A colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takagami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takagami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takagami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Ah! Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do?
Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the Evolved Blue Super Saiyan. Are they taking each other seriously now? Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takagami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takagami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans.
Final flash!
The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takagami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takagami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact.
His power is awesome, but I'm a god. The darkness cannot be defeated so easily.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions.
Big Bang attack!
Kaioken 20 times!
The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takagami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy.
This darkness is incredibly strong.
We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this.
Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously.
Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness.
The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyans' expressions.
Surprise, Saiyans! I've not yet revealed all my power.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within.
No, I haven't taken complete control yet.
Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation.
What's going on?
Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form, but now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha.
That's what Yamcha looks like!
Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile.
That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now.
Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously.
Damn it! How dare you possess one of us? It's not just one Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Baomut puppets.
The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing, was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely.
Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Baomut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness.
Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight.
Vegeta, we have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takagami. Of course, Kakarot. But first, we have to deal with this dark god.
The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takagami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky, but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Baomut. But Takagami wasn't going to give up so easily.
Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen?
The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takagami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her.
Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takagami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Ten Shinhan, after learning the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Ten Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takagami, I'll make sure you pay for this.
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Baomut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends. As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself. The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takagami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takagami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Ten Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Ten Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takagami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takagami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyans' fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option. I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assumed the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takagami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takagami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takagami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takagami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Ten Shinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takagami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Ten Shinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takagami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takagami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takagami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Ten Shinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takagami.
Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster. I'll come with you, Ten Shinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Ten Shinhan! Chaos!
Ten Shinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takagami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this!
While Tenshinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takagami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Tenshinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Tenshinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takagami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takagami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Tenshinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Tenshinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takagami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance! Make every second I hold this monster worth it!
Chaos, next to Tenshinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Tenshinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that. Goku, Vegeta, take care of our world. This is our last act.
At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takagami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation. As Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takagami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation, where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves!
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami. But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, in the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile, though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Haha, is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy.
Is that all hope can do?
Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more.
This is far from over.
The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z Warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes.
You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light. You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity.
This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami. The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power.
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god. You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this.
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination.
Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god.
Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed the situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed. Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together.
For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity. They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta! The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration. We're making progress, Vegeta!
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z Warriors. Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable! The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad, Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, we all trust you. Let's defeat this enemy together.
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves.
Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused!
I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined! In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned Dark God!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z Warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z Warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!
The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
This kid, his power is amazing!
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. The battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds.
Ah! This can't be so strong!
Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much. You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! This damned! We can't let this continue!
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes.
Brother, are you alright? Yes, but we need a new approach. We're not going to let this guy get away with this.
Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
I can't give up, but we need a strategy, something that could surprise him.
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured.
Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
The confrontation between Gohan in his Super Saiyan Phase 3 form and Takagami marked a drastic change in the intensity of the battle. The skies, previously serene, witness of the confrontation, darkened with the energy unleashed by both combatants. And each blow resounded like thunder in the vast and silent cosmic space, defying the tranquility of the stars watching from a distance. The explosions of energy briefly illuminated the darkness, creating a chaotic and majestic spectacle at the same time. The flashes of light and shadow intertwined in a frantic dance that reflected the ferocity of the combat. The shockwaves spread out in the distance, distorting space itself and recalling the magnitude of the power unleashed on that battlefield. Each movement was a ballet of strength and dexterity, with Gohan and Takagami challenging each other in a battle that transcended the physical, entering the realms of the mystical and the epic. Their cries of determination were lost amid the din of battle, but their spirits echoed in every exchange of blows, making it clear that this confrontation was not just for dominance or survival, but for the legacy of their lineages and the protection of their worlds. Gohan, his eyes shining with an indomitable determination, channeled all his power in every movement, leaving a trail of energy that shimmered with a force that defied the limits of the unimaginable. His taut muscles, his golden aura glowing with intensity, made him an unstoppable force that sought justice and protection for all those he loved and defended. "You will not escape my justice, Takagami! My determination's like an unbreakable torrent that'll sweep away any darkness you try to sow. Every blow I throw carries with it the strength of all those I protect and defend. I'll not rest until the truth shines on every shadow you've woven with your deceptions. Get ready to face the justice I bring!" Gohan roared with fiery fury, his voice echoing across the battlefield like an echo of the very protective will drive him. Every blow he threw carried with it the emotional burden of years of struggle and sacrifice, the determination of a hero willing to do anything for the well-being of his world and his loved ones. On the other hand, Takagami, with his characteristic agility and calculated cunning, dodged Gohan's attacks with fluid and precise movements. His cold and calculating gaze contrasted with the ferocity of the Saiyan, unveiling an enemy who did not underestimate the threat he faced.
Interesting. I see that the power of the Saiyan pride still burns deep in your being, Gohan, but let me tell you this. However intense it may be, will not be enough to defy the chains of your inevitable fate.
Between each exchange of blows and dodges, the battlefield turned into an epic scenario where two titans collided, not only with their bodies, but with their convictions and purposes. The fate of both was intertwined in a deadly dance where determination, skill, and strength merged in a conflict that transcended the physical and went deep into their warriors' souls. The clash of energies was so intense that the Z warriors felt the pressure and overwhelming weight of the unfolding confrontation. The magnitude of the conflict resonated in every corner of the known universe, like an echo of power that transcended planetary barriers and penetrated the very heart of those who were fighting for survival and justice. The fluctuations in ki were palpable, even to those watching from a distance, like a symphony of opposing forces colliding in a chaotic but harmonious dance. Every member of the Z Warriors could feel the electricity in the air, the tension that preceded every strategic move and every heartbreaking blow. The earth trembled under the influence of the unleashed energy, as if the world itself was responding to the duel of titans being waged on its surface. The skies darkened even more, as if the universe itself was holding its breath at the magnificence and terror of that epic contest. In those moments of crisis, the Z Warriors' determination grew even stronger, fueled by the urgency to protect what they loved and to face any adversity with courage and conviction. It was a reminder that during chaos and destruction, the human spirit could shine with an unshakable light. Piccolo, with his strategic mind sharper as a razor, watched every move with meticulous attention. Every gesture, every spark of unleashed energy carried with it the promise of a decisive change during the battle. His intense and serene gaze concealed a precise calculation as he searched for the perfect opportunity to intervene in support of his disciple. Piccolo, with his gaze lost on the horizon as he pondered the situation deeply, added in a calm but determined voice,
Gohan is channeling an incredible power right now. If we manage to amplify their energy and coordinate a joint attack, we could tip the scales in our favor and find the opportunity we need to change the course of this battle.
His mind worked like a meticulous clock, evaluating possibilities and strategies during the chaos that was unleashed in front of him. Meanwhile, at the epicenter of the conflict, Gohan and Takagami continued their titanic duel, each determined to impose their will and determination on the other. Gohan's transformation into Super Saiyan Stage 3 not only gave him enormous strength, but also imposed a demanding tribute in terms of energy and physical endurance. Gohan, his breathing agitated by the effort and intensity of the moment, expressed with determination in his voice between short breaths, "His power! It's overwhelming! But I must stand firm! I can't fail!" Every word resonated with an unwavering commitment as he prepared to face the ordeal ahead of her, his aura glowing with a mixture of exhaustion and relentless resolve. His spirit stood like a burning flame during the storm, braving adversities with a determination that sprang from the core of his being. On the other hand, Takagami, with his arrogant smile and calculated movements, responded to every attack of Gohan with an inordinate confidence in his own dexterity and power. Takagami, with a voice imbued with superiority and a tone that denoted his absolute confidence in his words, defiantly replied,
Admiral, but naive. Your determination's remarkable, Gohan, but you must understand that no force in this universe can change your destiny.
His voice resonated with an assurance that seemed to defy all opposition, marking a gap between confidence in his power and Gohan's will. His self-assurance was impenetrable as the toughest steel, a psychological barrier that defied even the storms of energy roaring around him. The confrontation was coming to a head as the Z Warriors, with a mixture of worry and palpable hope in their hearts, prepared to intervene at the precise moment that could change the course of the battle. Vegeta, with his intense and analytical gaze, watched every flash of power unleashed by Gohan with a mixture of admiration and concern in his eyes. Vegeta, with his analytical and sharp mind, was muttering to himself in a barely audible tone due to the palpable tension in the air.
Gohan's unleashing an incredible power.
His words were a whisper, charged with respect and concern, acknowledging the magnitude of the power that Gohan was unleashing at that critical moment.
But he must maintain control if he wants to survive this,
he added with a seriousness that reflected his experience in past battles and his understanding of the dangers of losing control over so much unleashed energy. Goku, the legendary warrior who knows the limits and beyond, nodded solemnly at Vegeta's words. Goku, with a calmness that radiated experience and wisdom, recognized with respect in his voice, "We know what it's like to fight at the limit, but Gohan's showing exceptional courage that inspires us all." His words resonated with the depth of one who has faced countless challenges, understanding the nature of struggle and the sacrifice it entails. With admiration palpable in his tone, recognizing the courage and determination of his son during adversity, his voice, serene but full of respect, reflected the confidence in Gohan's potential to overcome any obstacle. Meanwhile, the energy flowing through Gohan was reaching its peak, manifesting itself in an impressive visual spectacle. Its golden aura radiated an intense light that illuminated the surrounding space, making even the distant stars seem to pale in comparison. Gohan, with a roar full of determination that echoed throughout the battlefield, exclaimed with fervor, addressed to his father and Vegeta,
Father! Vegeta! All of you! This power is to protect you all!
His voice carried with an emotional charge of his commitment to the protection of his loved ones, a promise that manifested itself in every flash of his glowing aura, and in every blow aimed at the darkness that threatened his world. His voice, echoing like an echo of hope amid the chaos of battle, his energy, instead of just being destructive, became a beacon of hope for his allies, instilling strength and determination in their hearts. The buildup of energy finally reached its peak when Gohan unleashed a combined attack so powerful that it seemed to tear the very fabric of space. The surprise on Takagami's face was palpable, reflecting the magnitude of the force unleashed by the young Saiyan.
Impossible! I can't believe the magnitude of your strength, Gohan! You've unweakened a power that defies all my expectations and strategies so far. But you haven't witnessed everything I can do yet. My abilities are not limited to what you've witnessed so far. And I still have cards to play in this game. Get ready to find out that I'm not as easy an opponent to defeat. The true essence of my power is about to be revealed, and I assure you that it'll surprise you. The battle's only just begun, young Saiyan.
The resulting explosion temporarily blinded everyone present, enveloping the battlefield in a dazzling light that eclipsed even the brightest stars in the firmament. As the luminescence slowly faded away, it revealed an impressive but also disturbing scene. Gohan, still in his Super Saiyan Stage 3 form, was still standing, his figure slender but visibly exhausted at the limit of his strength.
Was that enough?
He was panting between short breaths, his eyes reflecting a determination that defied the fatigue that overwhelmed him. But Takagami emerged from the rubble with a defiant smile on his face, was making it clear that the battle was far from over.
You're barely scratching the surface, Gohan. Your power is awesome, but you can't beat the darkness that is hanging over you. Your determination's commendable, but the real battle is beyond what you can imagine. My shadows are deeper, and my power is vaster than you think. Get ready to face the true essence of the dark power.
Gohan's energy was fluctuating, a clear sign that his transformation was reaching its limit. The Z Warriors watched with anxiety and determination as the battle reached a critical point. Victory seemed elusive, but their fighting spirit remained unwavering in the darkness that threatened to devour them all.
No! I can't give up! This power! It's to protect everyone! To my family! To the Earth!
Each word came out between agitated breaths, but charged with an unwavering determination, revealing the deep sense of responsibility and love that drove their struggle. His voice, though weakened by the effort, resounded with a firmness that defined the adversities he faced.
Oh, what a pathetic nobility! Do you think you can fight my darkness with simple desires for protection? Your strength is impressive, but your naivety condemns you. Don't you understand that in this world, nobility and desires for protection are as fragile as glass in front of the tide? No matter how much power you possess, the darkness will always find a crack through which to infiltrate and corrupt everything you value. It's only a matter of time before you realize the futility of your efforts, Gohan.
Gohan, his aura flickering, braced himself for another assault, feeling every fiber of his being burning with determination. However, the accumulated fatigue and the marked wounds on his skin were beginning to take their toll, weighing like chains on his struggle. Every move was a battle against exhaustion and pain, a test of endurance that tested his courage and perseverance. The vision of Takagami, his implacable enemy, distorted slightly before his fatigued eyes, reflecting not only the tumult of the physical battle, but also the dark and twisted connection Takagami maintained with the source of power that fed him. This connection, like a cursed bond, gave Takagami a ruthless strength, but also dragged him into the maelstrom of corruption and out of control. During the fray, Gohan found himself facing not only a formidable opponent, but also the shadow of an evil influence that threatened to consume everything. Every blow thrown and blocked resonated with the intensity of an epic battle between light and darkness, between the determination of a hero and the seduction of a dark and forbidden power. Despite the adversities and uncertainty that surrounded him, Gohan clung to hope like the beacon in a storm, remembering the bonds of friendship and love that drove him to move forward. Every beat of his heart resonated with the will to protect what he valued most in the world, facing the challenge with courage and sacrifice, knowing that true strength lay in his indomitable spirit and in his determination to never give up in the face of the darkness that threatened his world and soul.
Gohan, don't wear yourself out too much. Stay focused and in control. Remember, that true strength lies not only in raw power, but in the ability to stay calm and think strategically amid chaos. Do not underestimate your opponent, and do not get carried away by blind rage. That determination must be backed by intelligence and control. Make every hit count, and don't get distracted from your goal.
His words, full of advice and warnings, sought to remind Gohan of the importance of the mind in battle, in addition to physical strength.
The Super Saiyan Phase 3 form consumes a lot of energy. Gohan needs to find a balance between his power and his stamina. He must learn to control the flow of his ki to maintain his strength without exhausting himself quickly. The key is efficiency. Every movement must be precisely calculated and executed to maximize the impact without wasting energy. It's a challenge to master this state, but if Gohan manages to find that harmony, his potential will be truly formidable.
His words, full of experience and knowledge, sought to guide Gohan towards a better understanding of how to use his power without compromising his endurance in battle. As Gohan and Takagami continued their confrontation, Goku's eyes, a symbol of hope for everyone, shone with determination during the intense strife. His strategic mind was working at full speed, analyzing every move of his son and enemies to find the perfect crack in Takagami's defense. Every glimmer in his gaze reflects years of training, epic battles, and an unwavering desire to protect those he loved. In the distance, Vegeta stood in a fighting position, his Saiyan pride burning like an unstoppable flame. His defiant aura and combat experience combined into a formidable force, ready to unleash his power at the precise moment. Piccolo, with his calculated serenity, was watching the battle with sharp eyes, ready to strategically intervene and balance the scales in favor of his comrades. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, were in the middle of the recovery process after the intense confrontation against Takagami. Despite their damage received, his determination did not waver. Both focused on channeling their ki with precision, taking advantage of every breath to restore their energies and strengthen their bodies. Goten, with his indomitable spirit and his face marked with determination, closed his eyes with concentration as he felt the flow of vital energy revitalize his fatigued muscles. "We have to be ready to return to the battle at any moment," he thought to himself, remembering the responsibility he shared with his friend Trunks to protect his family and his home. On the other hand, Trunks, with his mind focused and his ki shining with renewed intensity, was striving to reach an optimal state of recovery. "We can't afford to let our guard down," he reflected, aware of the challenges they still faced and the need to be prepared to face any adversity that stood in their way. Both young warriors knew that the battle was not over yet. With determination in their hearts and their ki channeling with precision, they were preparing for the next chapter in their fight for the protection of their world. "Gohan's giving his best. His strength and determination are impressive, but we need to find an opening to channel more energy towards him and empower his power to the fullest. We must all join forces and find a way to support him in this crucial battle. Our connection as a family and as a team is our greatest strength. Let's make every hit and every effort count to protect our home and those we love." His words, full of determination and hope, reflected his confidence in the team's ability to overcome any challenge when working together.
Your resistance is admirable, but useless. My power is absolute. No matter how much they fight, they won't be able to stop me. My strength is unshakable, and my determination relentless. There is no escape from my dominion. It's time for you to give up and accept your fate under my control.
Every word was loaded with arrogance and certainty, as Takagami continued to unleash his dark power with ruthless ferocity. Gohan, with a superhuman effort, managed to deflect Takagami's attacks and counterattacked with a burst of brilliant energy. The collision of powers created a shockwave that shook the nearby atmosphere.
I will not allow you to destroy what I love! My bonds and my strength are greater than any darkness you could throw! I'm ready to face any challenge and overcome any obstacle to ensure a secure future for everyone! There will be no place for destruction in my world!
Your emotions make you weak, Gohan. The real strength lies in the darkness. Your love and your bonds are chains that prevent you from reaching your true potential. Don't you see that the darkness offers unlimited and unrestricted power? Abandon your illusions of grandeur, young Saiyan. Face the truth that only darkness can bring you true strength and absolute dominion over the world.
Every word was imbued with an icy arrogance and a fanatical belief in the corrupting power of darkness. Takagami sought to sow doubts and weakness in Gohan's mind, challenging his conception of strength and courage. The struggle became more intense with each pressing moment. Gohan, despite showing obvious exhaustion with every short breath, remained firm and undetermined, refusing to back down from the challenge Takagami posed. His eyes reflected an unwavering determination as he faced the malevolent machinations of his enemy. However, Takagami's evil cunning was revealed in all its magnitude when he began to manipulate the environment around him with dark mastery. The dark creatures had summoned with his sinister magic were already at the edge of the surface, ready to emerge and join the battle with uncontrollable ferocity. The air was charged with an ominous presence as the shadows of those creatures danced unexpectedly, eager to join the conflict and show their destructive power. Faced with imminent threat, the Z warriors did not hesitate to prepare to face these creatures that represented an unknown but tangible danger. Vegeta, with his characteristic defiant tone, exclaimed as he adjusted his combat posture, "I'll not allow those abominations to ruin our path to victory. It's time to show them the true power of a Saiyan." Piccolo, the group's calm strategist, quickly assessed the situation and proposed a plan of action. "We're facing a cunning enemy who uses manipulation as a weapon. We must act with coordination and precision. Gohan, you now take care of containing the creatures. Vegeta, Goku, keep the pressure on Takagami and don't let him breathe easy." Goku, with a determined smile on his face, nodded energetically.
We have it, Piccolo! I'm confident that together we can overcome any challenge that comes our way! We're going to give our best!
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, who were always looking to prove their bravery, exchanged a look of complacency before joining the plan.
Yes! Let's show these monsters what it means to be a real team!
Determination shone in the eyes of each Z warrior as they prepared for the upcoming showdown, their hearts resonating with the memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos's courageous sacrifice. Those moments of heroism and camaraderie resonated like an echo in their souls, reminding them of the price they sometimes had to pay to protect the world they loved. Goku, with a silent bow to his fallen friends, took a moment to remember his valuable lessons of courage and determination.
Our friend showed us that even in the darkest moments, we can find the strength to face any challenge. His sacrifice will not be in vain as long as we keep fighting and keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts. Every blow we take, every obstacle we face is proof of our determination and our commitment to a better future. We'll not let his sacrifice be forgotten. Let's keep fighting with all our heart and spirit."
Vegeta, with an intense gaze fixed on the horizon, added solemnly,
"Every battle teaches us something new. We must honor his memory by overcoming our limits, protecting this world, not only for ourselves, but for those who are no longer there."
Piccolo, the serene strategist, reflected on the importance of learning from each experience.
"Every battle, every loss, strengthens us and teaches us to be better warriors. Let's move forward with determination and wisdom."
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, full of energy and competitive spirit, exchanged a look of respect towards the heroes of the past.
We're going to make their bravery and sacrifice worthwhile! We'll fight with everything we have!
The memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos became a flame that fanned the determination and fighting spirit of the Z warriors. With their hearts united in a common purpose, they prepared to face the next challenge with the strength of those who came before them, ready to write the next chapter in the history of defending the Earth against the forces of evil. The battle reached unprecedented levels of intensity, with every move unleashing a wave of energy that shook the battlefield. Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, led the charge against the emerging shadows, channeling his ki into powerful explosions that dispelled the creatures one after another. Every flash of light harbored the determination to protect their loved ones and their home from the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Mr. Piccolo, behind you! Watch your back! The enemy's trying to surprise us with sneak attacks! We can't afford to let our guard down for 1 second in this battle! Our togetherness is our greatest strength, and together we'll overcome any challenge that comes our way! I trust in your strategic wisdom, Mr. Piccolo, but I'm also here to support you in every move! Let's move forward with determination and protect what we value with all our might!
Piccolo responded quickly, deflecting the attack with an energy shield. Thank you, Gohan. Your quick alertness and attention to detail are crucial in this battle. Our coordination and communication are what will keep us one step ahead in the face of our enemies. Let's keep working together. Every move counts in this matchup. By his side, Piccolo displayed his tactical ingenuity with mastery, drawing lines of defense and counterattack with pinpoint accuracy. His strategies were like chess moves on the battlefield, anticipating the enemy's moves and coordinating attacks to maximize the impact. Between them, an almost perfect synchronicity is woven, where Gohan's brute force found balance at Piccolo's strategic cunning.
Vegeta, get ready for our combined attack! We can't hold any back anymore! It's time to deploy all our power and show them what we're capable of! Together, we're unstoppable, Vegeta! Let's prove once again why we're the most powerful Z warriors in the universe! Let's go!
You don't need to tell me, Kakaroto. I'm always ready for the combat. Our combined power will overcome any obstacle that stands in our way. Get ready to witness the true strength of the Saiyan race. Let's go!
Every clash of powers, every rumble of explosions resounded like a chant of resistance, bravery during chaos. The bounds of camaraderie and trust between the Z Warriors were strengthened by adversity, reminding them that together they were more than the sum of their individual abilities. In this ballet of strength and strategy, where each movement had the weight of survival and the hope of a future in which light would prevail over shadows. Vegeta and Goku, in their eternal friendly rivalry forged in countless battles, coordinated their attacks with an almost telepathic synchronization. Like two warriors who share a unique and deep bond, their fiery determination was reflected in every move, every punch, and every burst of energy they threw at their formidable opponent, Takagami.
Goku, it's time to unite our powers to take down this guy once and for all. We'll not allow it to continue sowing chaos and destruction. Our combined strength will be their undoing. Take this, Takagami! This is the end that awaits you for challenging the Z Warriors.
I'm with you, Vegeta! There's no turning back now! Together, we'll put an end to this threat once and for all! Let's get him!
The latter, a formidable adversary in his own right, was forced to quickly divert his attention between dodging the quick and precise strikes of the Saiyans and dealing with the strategic cunning of Gohan and the tactical prowess of Piccolo.
Don't underestimate my powers, Saiyans. My abilities go beyond what you can imagine. Your determination's admirable, but it won't be enough to stop me. Get ready to know the true darkness that resides in this universe.
The frantic dance of attacks and defenses between the protagonists became a ballet of opposing forces, where speed and power merged into an unparalleled combat choreography. Each shock of energy unleashed explosions of ki that lit up the sky like shooting stars on a stormy night, painting the firmament with flashes of power and determination. The battlefield was transformed into an epic scenario where the fates of the combatants were intertwined in a cosmic drama of legendary proportions.
Gohan, now's your time to shine. Use this opportunity to show your true power and determination. We're all counting on you to turn the tide of this battle. Don't hold back. Give your best and make every hit count. The fate of everyone depends on your courage and strength in this crucial moment.
Come on, Dad! Mr. Piccolo! We won't stop until we beat you! Our determination's stronger than ever, and together, we're unstoppable! This is our moment to show that together, we can overcome any obstacle! Let's trust in our bonds and fight with everything we have!
Meanwhile, Gohan's relentless determination and Piccolo's tactical wisdom added layers of complexity to the conflict, consistently challenging Takagami's strategies and moves. The intensity of the confrontation reached its peak, and with each hero and villain deploying their maximum potential in search of victory. Amid the chaos of battle, friendship and honor and inner strength shone as beacons of hope in a universe fraught with unfathomable challenges and dangers. Goten and Trunks, following the meticulous plan laid out by Piccolo to the latter, demonstrated a perfect synchronization that bordered on the supernatural. As young Saiyan warriors, their connection was more than a simple strategic alliance. It was the manifestation of a deep and lasting friendship, forged in countless shared trainings and battles. Every movement, every gesture, flowed between them in an innate harmony that only the strongest bonds could sustain.
Goten, your task is to maintain the defensive perimeter. Don't let anything surprise us from behind. Trunks, look for any opportunity to counterattack. We need to take advantage of every gap in their defense to turn the tide in this battle.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll be attentive and make sure that nothing takes us by surprise.
Following Piccolo's instructions, Goten unleashed bursts of energy with the dexterity and speed typical of the Saiyan lineage.
Come on, Trunks, let's keep the pressure on. Let's not give up and take every opportunity to move forward.
His attacks were precise and forceful, outlining a defensive perimeter around the group with an intensity that left his opponents breathless. Meanwhile, Trunks, a skilled wielder of the energy sword, executed precise and elegant cuts that perfectly complemented Goten's strategic defense.
Don't let any of them through, Goten. Keep our front safe while we look for weaknesses in their formation. Let's keep pushing.
Each movement drew lines of glowing energy in the air, creating a dynamic and effective wall of protection that neutralized any threat that dared to get too close to their companions. The combination of Goten and Trunks' skills not only demonstrated their individual mastery, but also their ability to work in a team in a fluid and coordinated way. Their actions were not only the result of practice and training, but also of a deep mutual understanding that allowed them to anticipate each other's movements with pinpoint accuracy. On the battlefield, the symbiosis was their greatest strength, making them an unstoppable force that courageously and determinedly defended those considered their family and home. The battle that was being fought was a whirlwind of energy and strategy, where every move had a deep meaning, and every decision impacted on the future of the contest. Goten and Trunks, the young Saiyan warriors, showed amazing coordination as they threw themselves into combat with a mixture of bravery and dexterity. His movements were like a martial dance, fluid and precise, designed to unbalance the dark creatures summoned by Takagami.
Trunks, to your right! Understood.
The voices of the young people echoed among the booms of explosions and the clash of powers. Each exchange of blows was a symphony of ki, a manifestation of the determination not to give ground in the face of the darkness that threatened to engulf them. Meanwhile, Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, deployed his ki in explosions of controlled energy, creating glowing spheres that exploded with force on impact against the shadows that rushed over them.
We can't give up! Our world depends on this! Every strike, every strategy, everything counts in this crucial battle! Let's keep fighting until the end!
His voice resonated with conviction, injecting courage into his companions. Piccolo, the calm but ruthless strategist, extended his arms with authority, generating defensive barriers that protected the group from surprise attacks. His eyes observed the battlefield with a calculated calm, evaluating every movement of the enemy to find the precise moment to counterattack.
Keep the pressure constant. We cannot allow them to make up ground. Every breakthrough we make is crucial to maintaining our advantage. Keep attacking relentlessly.
The sound of energy crashes and explosions was deafening, but during the chaos, the group's determination and unity shone like beacons of hope in the darkest night. Each of the Z warriors knew that they were not only fighting for their lives, but for the future of their home and the generations to come. Every attack, every block was another step towards victory or defeat, and they were not willing to give in to adversity. Amid the furious fray, every strategic move and every technique deployed by the Z Warriors reflected years of training and experience, as well as a bond of trust and camaraderie that strengthened them in the most difficult moments. The coordination between them was a show of synchronization and dexterity, a chaotic but harmonious dance of attacks and defenses that kept at bay the dark forces that tried to dominate them. However, it was at a crucial moment, when hope seemed to be faltering in the face of Takagami's relentless persistence, that Goku and Vegeta, the legendary Saiyans whose power transcended known limits, demonstrated once again why they were revered as the most powerful warriors in the universe. With millimetric synchronization that only they could achieve after years of training in epic battles, they unleashed a devastating combined attack that shattered Takagami's defenses, leaving them exposed and vulnerable in the face of the final counterattack of the brave defenders of the Earth. The impact of their combined energy resounded on the battlefield like divine thunder, shaking reality itself with its overwhelming power. The energy blasts and shockwaves spread out like a gale, sweeping away any obstacles in their way and marking a decisive turn in the confrontation. The hearts of the Z Warriors swelled with renewed hope as they witnessed the result of the bravery and determination embodied in Goku and Vegeta, who were not only allies but also rivals who raised each other to new heights of power and dexterity. This epic moment not only symbolized the brute strength of the legendary Saiyans, but also the depth of their connection as battle companions and friends. Her self-sacrifice and dedication to protecting her home and loved ones shone with an intensity that defied the shadows of despair. With Takagami vulnerable before them, Earth's heroes prepared for the final assault, determined to put an end to the dark threat looming over their world and restore the lost peace. As this crucial opportunity approached, Gohan and Piccolo, two warriors whose togetherness goes beyond simple camaraderie, combine their powers with synchronization and understanding that only the closest battle partners could achieve. With relentless determination and a strategic focus sharp as the edge of a sword, they faced the creatures summoned by Takagami, with a bravery that inspired everyone present on the battlefield.
Mr. Piccolo, keep the rear guard. I'm going to the front. It is crucial to maintain our formation and protect our backs as we move forward towards the main battle. I trust you to keep us safe from behind.
Understood, Gohan. Don't let your guard down. Our coordination is key for being victorious. Stay alert and move forward with determination. Together we'll overcome this challenge.
Gohan's energy, bright and powerful as the sun as it peaks, was intertwined with Piccolo's tactical cunning and dexterity, creating a symphony of power and skill that defied expectations. Each coordinated movement between them was a masterful combined dance, where offensive and defense intertwined in a lethal harmony. The creatures summoned by Takagami, who once posed a formidable threat, now found themselves at a disadvantage in the face of the unbreakable union of these two exceptional warriors. The battlefield lit up with flashes of brilliant energy as Gohan and Piccolo unleashed their full potential, overcoming every obstacle with steely determination and calculated strategies. The trust between them was palpable, a connection that transcended words and manifested itself in every punch and every block. With each enemy defeated, their path to Takagami cleared, bringing them closer and closer to the final victory they sought to protect their world and their loved ones.
Gohan, you need to buy time. I will prepare my best attack to defeat these creatures. I trust you can keep them busy while I get ready. Together, we can change the course of this battle.
Mr. Piccolo, I'll do my best to buy time. My goal is to keep these creatures at bay as long as possible so I can prepare their attack. Trust me, I won't let you down.
The moment of truth was approaching, and Gohan was advancing with a firm step, while Piccolo prepared his best attack to defeat these creatures summoned by Bahamut's disciple and put an end to the darkness that had threatened his home. His fiery determination was a beacon of hope for those who witnessed his courageous struggle, reminding them that strength lies in the unity and indomitable spirit of those who fight for justice and peace. The critical moment came when every move decided the fate of the battle. Gohan, in a last effort, took his final form. With his bright and determined aura, advanced to the front of the battle line, facing the dark creatures with a mixture of bravery and strategy, as he blocked the onslaughts of the shadows with his dazzling ki. The creatures, summoned by Takagami, were not easy rivals to beat, but Gohan in his ultimate form took a lot of confidence and began to face the creatures they are facing. Gohan knew that keeping the creatures at bay was crucial to allowing Piccolo to unleash his full power, while Gohan struggled to contain the shadows with his fast movements and powerful attacks. Piccolo concentrated his energy, preparing for the most powerful technique. The tension on the battlefield was palpable, but there was no room for doubt. Confidence in their abilities and in their partner was the key to facing the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Gohan, keep it up. You're demonstrating exceptional courage and impressive mastery on the battlefield. Every movement of yours is a barrier that prevents the advancement of these creatures. It's crucial that you hold this firmness for a few more moments while I finalize the preparations for my final ultimate technique. I have full confidence in your abilities and determination. Remember that our teamwork is the key to overcoming any challenge. Keep the pressure on and don't let your guard down. Together we can turn the tide of this battle and protect our loved ones.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll not allow them to advance a single step further. You can trust me. I'm fully prepared to take on this responsibility and keep these creatures at bay. Together, we can overcome this and protect our loved ones. My determination's unwavering, and I'll not back down in the face of this challenge, because I know that every stroke I stop here is a step towards victory. Our teamwork and mutual trust will give us the strength to prevail in this battle. Let's show them what we're capable of and write our own destiny in this struggle.
The scene unfolds with increasing intensity as Gohan definitively plunges into the maelstrom of combat. His determination is reflected in every gesture, and every tense muscle, and in every flash of energy that emanates from his being. The creatures summoned by Takagami's nightmarish creatures with twisted shapes and burning eyes fiercely advance towards Gohan, seeking to overwhelm him with their numbers and their uncontrolled fury. Gohan, however, is not daunted. His ki shines around him like an aura of power, marking every movement with a clear purpose. When the first creature lunges with sharp claws, Gohan responds with a precise block, channeling his energy to stop the attack with a glowing barrier. The resulting impact makes the ground tremble under his feet, but Gohan remains steadfast, his eyes fixed on his opponent. Each subsequent blow is an exhibition of martial skill and ki control. Gohan moves with grace and speed, dodging the onslaughts of creatures with fluid movements, and countering with calculated blows. His fists and legs turn into bursts of energy, hitting the enemies with force and precision. Each impact causes bursts of energy that light up the battlefield, drawing bright arcs in the air and kicking up swirls of dust around them. The creatures do not retreat easily. Their resistance is stubborn, and their thirst for destruction is insatiable. Gohan is forced to deploy more advanced techniques, combining his speed and strength with concentrated energy attacks. Ki waves cut through the air as Gohan releases bursts of controlled energy, seeking to weaken his opponents and open gaps in their defenses. Every block, every dodge, is a dance of anticipation and reaction. Gohan relies on his training and his intellect, reading the movements of the creatures, responding with precise movements. Your connection to your spiritual energy is evident in every movement, every pulse of energy emanating from your being. Meanwhile, Piccolo completes the charge of his definitive technique, his absolute concentration palpable in the air. The sound of his pent-up energy resonates on the battlefield, adding a layer of palpable tension to the charged atmosphere of battle. Gohan feels Piccolo's accumulated power as a beacon of hope and a call to redouble his efforts.
This is our chance, Gohan. Keep the pressure on them, and don't give them any respite. Every move of yours is crucial right now, as we are close to changing the course of this battle. I trust in your ability to keep them at bay, while we prepare our counterattack. Keep your determination, and keep going. Together, we can make it happen.
Gohan nods with determination as he prepares for the next attack. The combat dance between Gohan and the creatures reach its climax when Gohan, with a graceful twist, unleashes a series of energy blasts that cut through the enemy ranks. The creatures recoil momentarily, their twisted forms showing signs of weakness for the first time.
Goten! Trunks! I need you to be alert! Mr. Piccolo is preparing a powerful attack! Move quickly and maintain your defenses! Our coordination is crucial at this critical moment of the battle. We can't afford to make mistakes now. I'm confident in your ability to respond quickly and effectively. Stay focused and keep fighting with determination. Come on, we can still turn the tide of this battle in our favor.
The moment came when Gohan, with a precise movement, opened a breach in the creature's defenses, allowing Piccolo to unleash his devastating attack. With a resounding scream, Piccolo releases his ultimate technique, a beam of concentrated energy that cuts through the sky like a fiery comet. Makankasapo! The pure energy swirls frantically around the lightning, forming a spiral of controlled energy that seems to dance in the air with calculated ferocity. The extreme concentration of energy causes a burst that radiates a dazzling radiance, as if the sun itself were transcending on the battlefield. The energy beam, with its incomparable power, transverses the enemy ranks with pinpoint accuracy, neutralizing the creatures with an amazing efficiency that takes the breath away of those who witness its devastating impact. The initial explosion is only the prelude to the destruction that is unleashed. The torrent of concentrated energy envelops the creatures in a lethal embrace, eroding their forms with an overwhelming intensity. Each wave of energy emanating from the ray is like a chisel, carving out space itself, gradually disintegrating the creatures that meet its path with an inexorable inevitability. The show is both majestic and terrifying, with the energy displayed manifesting in vibrant colors that collide and intertwine in a chaotic dance. The controlled destruction leaves in its wake a trail of disintegration that seems to defy the very laws of physics, demonstrating the supreme power that resides in the hands of those who master the arts of combat and energy control. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the dark threat dissipating with each defeated creature. Gohan and Piccolo, breathing heavily, but with a satisfied smile, met in the center of the battlefield, knowing that their teamwork and determination had tipped the scales toward victory. Now, with the road to Takamagami clear, they were preparing for the final assault, confident that their union would return their greatest strength. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the echo of controlled destruction echoing through the air as the enemy creatures vanquished before the combined might of Gohan and Piccolo. The glow of the dissipated energy hinted at the near victory, marked by the determination and teamwork of the brave warriors Z, Gohan, and Piccolo. Breathing heavily but with a smile of satisfaction on their faces, met in the center of the battlefield, exchanging looks of complicity that spoke of a bond forged in battle and camaraderie. Meanwhile, in another part of the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta were facing Takagami in an epic duel that defied the limits of known power. With their faces marked with determination and their eyes shining with a fierce intensity, the two legendary Saiyans demonstrated once again why they were considered the most powerful warriors in the universe. His movements were like a whirlwind of quick attacks and precise defenses, each strike resounding like thunder in the energy-charged air. "Vegeta, keep the pressure on! Let's finish this together!"
Of course, Kakarot. I'm not gonna let this guy beat us.
The intensity of their confrontation filled the battlefield, making the ground shake with every energy shock. Takagami, although powerful, was in a challenging position in the face of the unstoppable combination of Goku and Vegeta.
I'll not underestimate your power, Saiyans. I recognize their bravery, but their determination will not be enough to stop me. My strength is unshakable. My power is unstoppable. Get ready to face the real darkness.
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.
Try good,